Yo, what's up? Dallas Cowboys State of the Union back at it again with another video. Today we want to talk about the recent signing, veteran safety.
George Iloka.
Yeah.
I like that last name.
So how you feel about the signing?
He's a good signing, especially at the terms they got him on. I think it's a 1 year deal in between $3.5 million to $5 million. So that's a steal. He's a veteran safety that is going to play the Cam Chancellor role in Chris Richard's cover 1, cover 3 scheme. I mean, he's 6'4", 226 pounds.
Yeah, you know Chris Richard like those big long rangy
cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So he's your classic box safety that can move closer to the line of the scrimmage, can tackle, has decent coverage skills. I know a lot of people's gonna say, well, he was a third string safety in Minnesota, so I mean, is he really that upgrade over Heath? I look at it this way: Minnesota misused him. They kept trying to play him as a single high safety when that's not his strength, even though he won't get exposed much, but that's not his strength. And he didn't really play that many snaps. I think he only played like 25% of the snaps in Minnesota. So when you look at that, he's getting a lot more snaps. He's a veteran safety. He has his durability is on point. I mean, he's played in 16 games for like 7 out of the 8 last seasons.
Right.
So, sometimes, as you would say, Jeremy, the best
ability is
availability.
Yeah, man.
So,
I think it's a really good signing. Again, like you said, for the terms, basically just kind of repeating what you said, but basically for the terms, again, you're talking about health-wise. This is a guy that can stay on the field, has veteran experience, has a veteran presence. So that's definitely something that these younger DBs are going to be. And of course, we have a safety that fits into what Chris Richard likes in his secondary. So that's amazing. A lot of people want to say this, but what about Eric Berry? I'm leaning more towards, I think they're out of the Eric Berry running after this signing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they can find a way to get him for a very cheap deal. I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him as well and let them duke it out in training camp.
I kind of would be surprised because the reports that I was reading last night, or the tweets, going through the Twitterverse, you had some beat writers that said the Cowboys were concerned about Barry's health.
Okay. Yeah.
So, the signing of Iloka he gives you the better safety, a good safety, who's durable. You said it before, the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And, the truth of the reality is, Eric Berry has played in 3 games over 2 years.
Yeah. And that's scary for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows the reason why he's still on the market, and we're about to go into free agency week 3.
And we're the only team that he's visited with.
And we're the only team that he done visit with. So so that goes to say, was the Cowboys a little reluctant after doing his physical?
I look at it this way. If a team is doing a physical on a player, that means they're ready to offer him a contract, which I think they did.
Right.
He just didn't accept it because on the last video, we talked about how he wanted to be paid, what Earl Thomas got, how he wanted to be paid, what Tyrann Mathieu got. But, the difference between those guys is, yes, they've been injured themselves, but with Eric Berry he's had a litany of injuries.
Yeah, and it's been, a case of bad luck and, just things getting in his way and stuff like that. But yeah, that is true. And sometimes, I always say this, sometimes agents can mess up deals for you because clearly he hasn't visited any other teams. I honestly don't think anybody else is interested, just because, again, of the health aspect. And even though he has amazing, tremendous talent and he can transcend defenses, at the end of the day, he cannot stay on the field. And that's showing by the fact that no other teams are bringing him in so far. So you look at it like that. I also say this too, with this signing, again, this plugs another hole where they can, what I keep saying, they can go into the draft BPA.
It allows, like you said, it definitely allows them to go in the draft not really with their backs against the wall.
Right.
How, like, even with the signing of Iloka, I still think they need to go after a safety, whether it's at pick number 58 or pick number 90.
That's what I was going to say. They got some great safeties that's going to be around in the second and third rounds, and that's one thing about this. One thing about this team since Darren Woodson. We had Roy Williams back in the day, but Darren Woodson was like the last great true Dallas Cowboy safety. The dude had a 12, 13-year career or whatnot. And he was the last great safety that we signed that was on this team for a long time. You see that we have made tremendous picks that I feel are going to be long-term financial picks in the last few years with this Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke Elliott is going to be our modern day Emmitt Smith, and he's going to be with this team a long time. I think Dak Prescott is going to be the Cowboys quarterback for the long term. You look at those signings. I believe that the Jalen Smith is going to be a franchise linebacker for us, and he's going to be here for a very long time. So you look at it, we haven't had that in the safety role. So I think that's the last piece to this defense, getting you a nice safety. You saw that 2017 we got edge rushers. 2016 we had got a cornerback. 2017 we got cornerbacks. Last year we got Van Der Esch. We got another edge rusher in Doris Armstrong. So you see that they have been putting a lot of resources when it comes to the draft into this defense.
Yes.
And the last piece I feel is to get you a franchise safety in the second or third round that's going to be able to learn behind the veterans that are here now, but be able to also transcend this defense in the future.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the coffin. This is the draft for them to get a franchise safety, in my opinion. This is the best defensive draft that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You have, like I said, with safeties they're your last line of the defense. And George Iloka, he only missed 8 tackles, I think, somewhat last year.
Right.
Jeff Heath missed 19 missed tackles. Hence the reason why they were so eager to replace him and move Jeff Heath back to special teams, where I think he's best used as a limited backup role. But that's it. In this draft, they need to get a franchise safety, whether it's Taylor Rapp, the safety out of Washington, or Warren Thornhill, the safety out of Virginia. There's a lot of good safeties coming out in the draft. Or if they can wait to the third round to get a Darnell Savage Jr., the safety out of Maryland. There's a lot of good safeties coming out that they can develop and turn into a franchise game changer. So it just depends. Again, their backs is not against the wall.
No, their backs are not against the wall in any position.
So they could really go either way here. They can go tight end, they can go safety, they can go D-line.
They can go O-line if they really
want to. Right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. But there's only one thing that I'm worried about. What we doing about this backup running back position?
The running back, to me, is if we really wanted to point out a need. Running back, to me, is the most glaring need. You need somebody behind Zeke, and I'm not talking about Jameis Olawale.
Yeah.
Again, this is we've heard rumors that they're trying to trade for Duke Johnson. I don't know if that's still happening.
They haven't re-signed Ross Smith yet. That's a glaring need for me. So hopefully in these next few weeks they'll go ahead and address that, and we get free agency week number 3. We'll see.